Hey going guys, in this video I'm going to be walking you through how to set up a cool data dashboard for SEO like this using DashThis, which we can share and print off, so it's really cool. Let's get straight into it guys. Hey going guys, it's Mead here, and today in this video I'm going to be walking you through DashThis and we're going to be reviewing it and setting up an SEO dashboard. Let's get straight into it. If you haven't used DashThis before, you can start up with a free account. It's a perfect place to start. I'm going to quickly sign in. And let's get into building with DashThis. So I stumbled across DashThis when one of my clients needed a dashboard. And this was one of the best options I came up with for them that met all their criteria. And they've thoroughly enjoyed using it. And because of this, I thought I wanted to share how DashThis works. And I thought, let's make a video about it. So they want to know a little bit about you in the beginning of DashThis. I'm just going to say I'm a marketing agency and I'm just going to say one report for one client, and straight away we're into integrations. Now, as you can see, DashThis offers a heap of integrations across lots of platforms organically. In this example, I am going to be doing a SEO dashboard, but in your case, you can connect this to whatever platform you need it to be. So let's jump into it. You might want to note that as I'm setting up this dashboard, that the information is going to be different for you, but the whole structure of setting it up is going to be very similar. So DashThis wants to connect to my Google account because that's where my SEO data is in Google Search Console. And you can see I'm going to give them access to download my analytics data and my Search Console data. So this will mean that DashThis is pulling that data through, which is what you have to do with these programs. And you can see here, there's a heap of options for websites because I've got a few websites in my search options. I'm just going to select my agency website, IPM Media, and we're almost there. So I'm going to call it, give it a name, SEO IPM Media. I'm in Australia, so it'd be good to set the language and region to Australia. Time period, it's good to set it as monthly. In my opinion, it's a good round number. We don't need to set it as a password, but interesting that you can, if you do want to have private dashboards within your company, you can set passwords to keep them private, which is quite a powerful feature. If you have, what's what I'm looking for? Restricted information that you want to keep away for some employees and you want to give to some people. So this is the fun part of setting up a data dashboard. This is where we can edit it, add our widgets, add our logos, and really make it our own. Now, the great thing about data dashboards is that they're supposed to be fun and exciting, so you actually pay attention to them and read them and really learn. So let's start by just walking you through. You can see here we can adjust the date, and since we selected monthly, you can see we're getting lots of different monthly options in here. You can see we can share the data dashboard. We have some options and some settings in here, saving it as a template, cloning it, managing the data sources, and then we also have view mode, which is what it's going to view like for people that we share it to and how it's going to look like when we actually look at it. And then we can switch back to edit mode in here. So that's the basics of editing in DashThis. The next step we want to look at is the widget settings. So there's 3 widget options in the top left-hand corner. We've got preset widgets, which we click on. We can see they're pre-built for us and the parameters are already in. If we just quickly scroll through, we can have a look at click-through rate for pages, average position, top clicks via country, devices or pages, and there's a few options. You can also see that there's different logos on the left hand side, and these represent what visual image is going to be representing each widget. So in this case it's going to be a graph, and in this case it's going to be a list. So if we go back and have a look at custom widgets, you can see it opens up by giving us a bunch of different widget option types. As I was talking about before, we have graph options, list options, and there's also heaps of other ones like gauge, pie charts, so on and so forth. So in this case, we can go through and select our widget type and then select our data source and then have a look at what metric we want to put into the data source. So we can have a look at clicks and then we can set some custom criteria in here. So that's what a custom widget is. It's custom built for you. Well, you're custom building it for yourself. And then a static widget. These are things like text and numbers that you just want to put on the page to tell a story. So in this case, you might be adding some headings to set out different parts of your SEO. So you can call these widgets, but I would probably just say these are more like a text editor or adding comments and that sort of thing. Not nearly as important as these other widgets up here. So let's start off by actually adding a static widget and calling it header, taking the header, and then as we exit out, we can see the headers in here. Actually, this makes it nice and simple to move stuff around by simply going to the moving button and dragging it up and down and around the page. We're going to adjust the text by deleting it and saying key SEO data, because we're going to put our most important SEO data at the top. In order to do this, we're going to add a preset widget and we're going to look at click-through rate by pages. And you can see DashThis is pulling in the data. Now you can adjust the title of each widget by simply editing it and changing it. So if you want to add a deeper explanation, you can do this to make it easier for people to understand if you find this too hard. Now you can see the average click-through rate for this month has been 0.54%, which is up 176 from the previous year and down 18% from the previous period, which would be the previous month. So it's worth noting how to read these pieces of information. Now we can adjust the data and change the widget by clicking on it, going into the settings and having a look at the options we have. So we can actually go in and change the metric in here just by doing this. We can also adjust the style of the widget. We can set it as a column, a line, an area line. In this case, I actually really like the column like that. We can have a look at changing maximum y-axis values to make the graph change its size. We can show fluctuations and we can see it's in a percentage. So you can see that DashThis offers a lot of options for adjusting your widgets. We can also drag this out to make it a bit bigger or shorter if we want. And we can also duplicate it if we feel the need to. In this case, we don't need to duplicate it, so let's go through and actually delete it. Now, let's add another preset widget and let's have another key information and let's look at the top clicked pages. Now you can see this widget is going to be a bit longer, and you can see this month my top click page was how to set up automatic Facebook ads reporting, which got 162 clicks. Likewise with this widget, similar to the other one, we can adjust settings in here as we need, whether it's the basic stuff or whether it's the data display options, and we can have a look at some different styles here. We can look at a pie chart, which is actually really interesting to look at. Gives you a better idea. Let's leave it as that. And then let's go through and you can see that we've got a few more options this time to adjust the widget. We can drag the widget out by hovering over it, grabbing the right hand side and dragging it to the right. Let's expand it all the way. And we can also drag it down if we want to. But for the sake of this, we're going to leave it level so that it looks nice, simple and clean. So there's our key SEO data. Now we can duplicate this and see it comes up underneath. Now we might want to call the next bit in-depth SEO. And in this section, we can break down some more interesting SEO facts. So in this case, Bloody hell, can't speak very clearly. It's actually quite late at night here in Australia. It's 7 p.m. and I'm pretty tired after working all day. In this case, I've duplicated up our top clicked pages and I'm going to change this widget. So I'm going to go to edit widget and go to the basic settings, quickly adjust the title while I'm here. And I'm going to look at impressions. Now, for some reason, DashThis isn't quite loading right now. Let's just wait a minute. You know what? Can this, guys? I am a liar. We are going to, nope, we are not. We're going to go in here. I lied again, guys. And instead of clicks, we're going to look at impressions. So what pages got the most views on Google? And we're going to keep the dimension of pages the same. And let's click save. And let's have a look at how the data changes. I'm also going to drag this out a little bit further to make it a bit easier for us to see. So in this case, we're looking at clicks, but now we're looking at, that's wrong. I've got to edit that. You can see it says clicks there. But if I go in here, we can change that to say impressions, because that's actually what we're looking at here as the metric. Now, there we go. Now, it's interesting to see that the impressions are actually a lot more evenly shared out than you'd expect in comparison to the clicks, where just 4 pages made up a good percentage of the click-through rate. So it's interesting to see that I'm getting a lot more impressions across a lot more web pages, but they're not getting click-through, which is interesting. Now, we can also adjust the color theme of DashThis by going to top right, changing the color to suit our needs. In this case, they're offering a green option there. I personally like a darker blue color theme because I think that looks a bit nicer. So we hit apply. I think it's a bit of a stronger color, and you can see it's adjusted all our colors to match the theme. Now, this is a small dashboard, but you can fill this out as much or as little as you want to show the data that you want. Let's have a look at how to share these dashboards and what's the value in that. So let's actually start off by switching to view mode and seeing how DashThis presents information. And this is what you'll see if you share this dashboard with someone. Say you want to share it with someone beneath you at the company and you send them a link. This is what they'll get if they haven't got an account logged in with DashThis. They'll get an interactive web page which appears on their phone or their computer, which is really, really cool. And you can see it looks very similar to what we have before, except that there is no editing abilities. Now, they can also go through and adjust the data. So we can have a look at what the data was a year ago almost today. Let's quickly do that. And we can have a look how that's changed. Now you can see a year ago, it was much different. None of these pages are the same. My impressions have gone down. They're more dominated by the home page. And we can see the click-through rate is a bit lower, 0.2 versus 0.5. Say, for example, we want to share this. We can share it a few different ways with a copyable link, and we've copied it now, and we can simply paste it, and ta-da, it's there. We could also export it as a PDF, and they're generating it now. This is a nice, really fun option to do if you're presenting it, or you want to look more professional and you want to send it an email. It's a really handy little trick. Here it is. If it loads properly, come on, baby, here we go. And there it is. It doesn't look quite as nice as a web page, but it still looks really good in total. It's got all the same data, but you can't walk over with your mouse, which is a bit disappointing. And we can also share it by email, which we'll just put into your email browser. Now, it's a pretty powerful tool, this sharing feature. It makes it super easy to share this data, and that is one of the problems that we have with data. Now, that's how you set up a DashThis dashboard. I want to talk a bit about their pricing options. So I'm just going to quickly go to their homepage and walk you through some of their pricing. I just want to say that I actually really love DashThis. I think it's a really powerful tool, and their integrations are pretty insane with what they can do. Now, their pricing is pretty good as well. At a yearly cost for 3 dashboards, so you can have 3 of these dashboards set up, it's $33 per month, which is pretty good. That's not bad value. If you're a small company, that's fairly good value. And if you're moving all the way up and you're actually a big agency and you want to have dashboards for your clients, then you start looking at the $500 mark range, which is still really, really good value. If you're charging, say, $100 per month for dashboards for your clients, and you can still be turning over $10,000 and it's only costing you $500 a month. So it's not a bad deal. Overall, I would say that DashThis has got pretty good pricing. It's definitely not the cheapest out there, and it's definitely not the most expensive. So it's pretty good. It's in that ballpark range of having great price, great features, and really good customer service too. So you can get help if you want to. Overall, I'd say, guys, don't hesitate to give it a go and try it for free and sign in, create an account, connect up your own stuff, and try it yourself. There is a 15-day free trial, so you have over 2 weeks to play around and see if you like it or not. If you do want to do this, I'd ask if you click the link in the description. I've got a referral code in there, so that means if you do decide to purchase, you are supporting me and I do get a small fee. I think it's 20% of that money into my account, which is really great. Helps me keep producing these videos for you guys, and I really, really appreciate it. It's really good for you to show that support to me in my eyes, and I'd love if we can do that. Thanks a lot, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great day. Keep well. Ciao, ciao.